by Carlow University, by First Commonwealth Bank, by UPMC Sports Medicine, by Officially Sports, by Dollar Bank, by Monticello's Italian Restaurant, and by Management Science Associates.
All right, I'm good to go.
I wasn't able to print this out before. Yeah, do you mind, just so I can read the out cue going out? I know it's a mouthful.
Even the start is a mouthful too.
Okay, tonight's playoff match is brought to you by Progress, first and third, made by Carlow University, proud sponsor of all girls high school sports.
So you did with it? Huh? No. Did he? No, I was testing. I was testing everything. I'll get us on right now. I didn't even dial us in yet. Yeah, we're going to dial it in now. I had to get everything going.
Okay.
724 972 4060. Wait for the fat lady to talk to us.
She was speaking French to us the other night. Limon and I had Chartiers Valley volleyball, and she said Chartier.
Yeah, I know. We had them 5-0-0-0. We had Chartiers Valley for a semifinal in soccer, and then we get the same thing.
Broadcasting more than 2,000 games live and archived in 15 sports in over 10 counties in western Pennsylvania, as well as being the exclusive home for all the WPIAL playoffs and championships for nearly 2 decades. Anytime, anywhere, always there. We are the MSA Sports Network.
Welcome to exclusive coverage of the 2016 WPIAL Soccer Playoffs here on the Management Science Associates Sports Network. The high school soccer playoffs at msasports.net is sponsored by Progress, by Carlow University, by First Commonwealth Bank, by UPMC Sports Medicine, by Officially Sports, by Dollar Bank, by Monticello's Italian Restaurant, and by Management Science Associates.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the south side of Pittsburgh at Highmark Stadium tonight on the MSA Sports Network. It's the WPIAL Class AA Girls Soccer Championship. The top-seeded Freedom Bulldogs against the Freeport Yellow Jackets, the number 2 seed in your Class AA bracket. I'm Randy Gore along with Lou Rood for tonight's broadcast. Glad to have you along as tonight's playoff match is brought to you by Progress, First in Turf, and by Carlow University, proud sponsor of all girls high school sports here on the MSA Sports Network. Well, a couple of outstanding teams, as you might expect in this championship match. Freedom at 19-0-0. Perfect record, the only team in the WPIAL without a loss or a tie, and the Freeport Bulldogs 15-3-1 so far this year, section champions out of Section 2.
And right now we'll pause for the playing of our national anthem.
so gallantly streaming, and the rockets in gleam, the bombs bursting beneath, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Beautifully done, the national anthem here at Highmark Stadium. Again, south side of Pittsburgh, ready for the kickoff of the soccer championships. This is the opening event here on this Thursday night, 6 p.m. Scheduled start time. Freedom, the top seed, against the second-seeded Freeport Yellow Jackets. And Lou, a great matchup. You have a couple of teams that have really dominated throughout the season. Granted, they played in some tight games along the way, especially in the playoffs, but these are two very all-around sound teams offensively and defensively, and they go toe-to-toe tonight.
That's true, Randy, and it seems as though the WPIAL got the seeding right in 2A, because we've got the number 1 seed, Freedom, against the number 2 seed, Freeport. And you look at the statistics. Both teams had 11 shutouts in the regular season. Freedom has 2 shutouts in the playoffs. Freeport 1. Freedom has only allowed 11 goals the entire season. It should be a defensive struggle tonight between two powerhouse teams, and this one could very well end up 1-0 as the final score, and it might very well end up 1-0 following double overtime and penalty kicks. Not that I want to wish that on us, but it has that potential. Two very strong defensive teams, two very sound defensive teams. And, when one team has 13 shutouts out of 19 games and the other team has 12 shutouts out of 19 games, you're talking teams that know how to play defense.
Had an opportunity to talk with both teams' head coaches, but speaking with Coach Colin Williamson, the head man for the Freedom Bulldogs, he has a ton of outstanding scorers on his team. Mila Sharpless, Michaela Watkins, a couple of players that have over 21 goals apiece. But he said for his team, it all starts in the back with defense, and certainly the same can be said for Freeport, and they'll both be trying to mark the other team's best players tonight. One of the difficulties in that for both teams is the fact that there are multiple excellent goal scorers on each side. Mentioned Mila Sharpless and Michaela Watkins for Freedom, but for Freeport you have Kaylee Comparator. In net is Cassie Saran, who's done an outstanding job, but along with Comparator, Olivia Gasparic has 10 goals this season. Hannah Stokes, 8 goals from the forward position, and Comparator, 9 goals. She missed 12 games this season with an MCL injury, so hard to mark any one or two players on either team. They are both excellent offensively, so it really will be interesting to see how the defenses are able to adapt here tonight as we are underway, the Class AA Championship here at Highmark Stadium, and glad to have you along on the MSA Sports Network. A treat for you tonight is this broadcast also a video stream here on the MSA Sports Network as both teams trying to settle in here to this title match in midfield. Freeport, the 2 seed, in the visiting dark uniforms, of the home whites, the Freedom Bulldogs, and trying to work it into the attack is Freeport. And some traffic, ball cleared out to midfield. And speaking with Coach Greninger, Brittany Greninger of the Freeport Yellow Jackets, she said that anytime her team gets close to the 18, they have to fire shots, and plenty of them. Not sure how many opportunities they'll have, but she doesn't want to have her team be shy in the least. Come out there, get some shots on net, hope for some good things to happen. Freedom in the midfield.
And so far, pretty much what you would expect in a championship game between two teams, each trying to feel the other out. see what's going to work, what's not going to work, and most of the plays been right in the midfield area with neither team able to possess the ball that much.
Piper Claypool with the throw in for Freeport. Ball will bounce in to the Freedom zone, but cleared out quickly to the midfield by Alexia Barlamas. Now Freeport trying to settle in, but again the Bulldogs defense collapsing, and on the backside quickly cleared out by Barlamas, the sophomore. Now in deep, chasing after was Michaela Watkins. Mentioned she's dangerous. Coach Williamson speaking about the counterattack, and that being a key area for his team with the speed of Watkins. Wants to try and press Freeport in that area if at all possible. Topanga Christie now will clear it out to midfield. Ball settled down by Lindsay. Lindsay trying to pass it right in the center circle as Olivia Gasparic, mentioned one of the top goal scorers for Freeport, one of many. Gasparic able to sidestep a couple of defenders. Now a lead pass down the right wing. Into the box, pass intended for Kaylee Comparator, but quickly cleared out. Now driven right back into the box, and it will go wide of the cage, wide right, is letting the ball skip by goalkeeper Jacqueline Hartle of Freedom. It'll be a goal kick for Freedom.
Don't mind me, I have to stick my head out the window here to see.
I understand. I was trying to settle in myself. As the teams are settling in here, so are we with our vantage points here in the Highmark Stadium press box.
They needed to make the windows a bit bigger here when they put this press box in.
And I concur. Here comes Freedom now. Pass down the right wing, just a little too far for Taylor Petroff, and into the right corner, out of bounds. Throw in comes courtesy of Claypool along the near sideline. Freeport moving right to left across your computer keyboard or computer screen here on the MSA Sports Network tonight. And Freedom working in the opposite direction, left to right in the midfield. Lindsay Monak. Bounding ball settled by Alexa Schwab. Schwab back from injury, missed most of the season with a broken toe. Ball bouncing into the box, corralled by Cassie Saran, the senior goalkeeper for Freeport. And she'll punt it away to midfield. Both teams have been dealing with injuries this season. Alexa Schwab was the leading goal scorer a season ago for Freedom. So certainly a blow early on. We have a foul in the midfield.
Free kick for Yellow Jackets.
It'll be a free kick for Freeport. But Alexa Schwab injured with a broken toe very early on and dealing quite a blow to the Bulldogs' cause, but thanks to the co-op with New Brighton, a lot of talented players coming in. There's already a ton of talent to begin with for Freedom, but the co-op with New Brighton bringing in 5 new players, including Michaela Watkins, the sophomore forward. Yellow Jackets in Freedom territory. They cannot penetrate deep, or the pass by Hannah Stokes. Junior forward cut off by the Freedom defense. Freeport trying to take it to Freedom, getting the ball back, but again cleared out into the midfield toward Taylor Green, but out of bounds. Near side throw in will come from Piper Claypool. Quickly headed out of bounds by Freedom, and Taylor Green, sophomore defender.
And both teams just kind of trying to settle in here, figure out what they can do, but the defenses have been solid.
Out of bounds, chipped by Autumn Cribble, sophomore defenseman for Freeport. So now the throw in comes from the near sideline for Freedom, and Alexis Schwab working it toward the right corner, giving chase is Watkins. Watkins just to the right of the box, tight to the end line, puts one toward the cage, and a sliding stop on her knees made by Cassie Saran.
Guess we'll count that as the first official save of the game.
Will you be keeping
that was
those
on net?
stats?
I think that was not on net. No, it was not. Then we will not count it. I glanced up at the last second and caught it. I will do my best to keep stats. I'm not the greatest in the world.
Okay.
But I will do my best, so we will not count that as a save.
Now a centering pass in front, looking for a header, leaping effort, Cameron Lindsay, but beyond her, it will roll out of bounds near sideline. First really good scoring chance there for either team, coming for Freeport. Near sideline, Schwab giving chase in some space. Check that, Taylor Petroff rather. Now it's Schwab with it. And Schwab looking for Petrov with a lead pass toward the right quarter, right wing area. And will hook a ball toward the net, but it will go wide right. As we are scoreless, 33 minutes and 55 seconds and counting in the first half of the Class AA Girls Championship.
Goal kick for Freeport here.
Freeport, the champions out of Section 2, Class AA. Freedom, the champions, section champs out of Section 1. Number 1 seed versus 2 seed in this AA bracket. In the midfield, Lindsay Monak. Ball chipped toward Watkins. Watkins tied up, though, with a Freeport defender, that being Claypool, and now Claypool taken down. It's a whistle on Freedom.
Free kick for the Yellow Jackets.
That'll be the second free kick awarded to Freeport at this point in the game. See, I told you I can keep stats, Randy.
You indeed can. Well, I was just wondering, so that takes the pressure off of me now. I don't have to worry about keeping stats.
Well,
I'll resign that.
If you want to help out, that's fine. I mean, no big deal there. I have to write the article afterwards. That's why I'm keeping stats.
I see. I try to do so as best I can, but you know how it goes when you're trying to do a broadcast.
It's tough.
At the same
it
time.
is.
Becomes a difficult task. Nonetheless, free kick here in the midfield area for Freeport.
Best stats we had all season. I had my daughter come along and help
oh, wow.
Paul Patera and I out. She plays for Bell Vernon. She's a sophomore on their team. And we had accurate stats for once.
Very nice. Piper Claypool on this free kick for Freeport. Toward the edge of the 18, but cleared out. Near sideline, chased after by Topanga Christie, and that's Christie near it again after the throw in. Ball out along the near sideline. Watkins again, chasing after it. She is a speed merchant, but angled off the ball. Nicely done by Freeport's Kim Mixon.
And Mixon, one of the key defenders for Freeport, showed why there is she just took off like a jet and not only cut off Watkins, she made sure that she could get nowhere near the ball. It would go over the end line and set up the goal kick for Freeport.
Talking with Brittany Greninger, head coach of Freeport, former player at Karn City, also former player collegiately at Division I St. Francis University, but asked her about the Freedom goal scorers, and she said, without giving away too much, she said, we know who they are, and we'll do our best to mark them here tonight. And obviously Watkins is going to be one of those. Very talented player. Watkins, her older sister, Maya, had scored 121 goals during her high school career, now playing at Division I Hofstra, so certainly a lot of soccer talent in the Watkins family. Right now it's 0-0 here in the AA title game. 31 minutes to go in the first half. Pass comes forward, and now in some space with a breakaway shot. It's Watkins for the goal, and it's 1-0 Freedom.
Goal scorer for Freedom High School, 23, Michaela Watkins.
And she broke in beautifully that time. And one-on-one with goalkeeper Cassie Saran, and Cassie didn't have a chance. Watkins buries it in the back of the net, 1-0.
So 1-0 Bulldogs here at Highmark Stadium. And just like that, it only took one opportunity in the open space for Watkins, and she delivers. So for Watkins, that is her 22nd goal of the season.
And that would be the first official shot on net, and it went in.
That is efficiency at its finest.
And that takes care of that problem we were worried about of 0-0 going into penalty kicks at the end. We don't have to worry about that one now.
Well, not to say that we may not have to worry about overtime, but at least it won't be 0-0.
Exactly.
Right? And Freedom is okay with that. Freeport now knows the task. They'll need at least 2 to win this one tonight. Off a free kick into the box. Deflected out, though, by defenseman Kim Mixon. There again for Freeport, out of bounds near side, and it will be off of Topanga Christie. So it's Freedom with the throw-in, delivered by Chloe Keller. Looks like Freedom's brought the hammer here today. Here in the crowd near side. Surely the folks in the on the video stream are unable to see that, but everyone excited about this championship game.
A nice crowd on hand. Both schools well represented here at Highmark Stadium.
First trip to the title game for Freeport, and Coach Greniger indicating that 2 school buses coming out with Freeport fans for this championship tonight, as it's 1-0 in the first half favoring Freedom. 29 minutes to go in this first half. In the midfield, infraction on Freedom. That gives Freeport a free kick, much to the dismay of the Freedom fans you might have heard over our crowd mic.
Yeah, the officials can never win with the fans. It doesn't matter where you are or who it is. They're always wrong.
On the free kick, it's Lindsay into the box, headed out by Freedom's defense. And a little bit of a pinball effect, a couple of headers for each side. Cleared out with the left toe by Taylor Green for Freedom. And then Green, a little bit of a collision, and that draws another whistle. And this will be a much closer free kick opportunity here for Freeport. We'll see if the Yellow Jackets can convert this into a goal.
And Freedom packing everybody back in. They only had 1 attacker out near midfield. They had everybody else back on defense. Now they've got 2 out.
Lindsay again toward the net, and it is deflected wide of the cage by the keeper, Hartle. Trying for the rebound. One of the Yellow Jackets just to the left of the net, but unable to put it on the cage from that very difficult angle.
And it was very close to going off the hands of Hartle into the net. Looked like it gave her some difficulty handling it.
After the goal kick for Freedom, Bulldogs leading this 1-0 in the first half, 27.5 to go. Right wing, Freeport, right of the box, and quickly chipped out of bounds by the Freedom defense. That done very nicely by Alexia Barlamas, the sophomore midfielder. Again, out of bounds. This time, though, will result in a corner kick first of the night for Freeport.
Come on, Freedom!
So first corner kick of the evening for Freeport. In front, Hartle swats it away, and then the Freedom defense clears it out of danger. Lindsay trying to place it back into the box, cannot, and the ball cleared into the open midfield where Mixon will chase it down. 1-0 Freedom here in the first half. Now it's Lindsay with a player on her right hip. Nice open field move, looking for a pass near the top of the 18 for Comparator, clear to the far sideline. Sydney Szymanski, who has 12 goals this year, will have the throw in for Freeport. Does so to Gasparic. Now it's Lindsay. Left-footed pass, looking for Kaylee Comparator, junior forward. Now, as Coach Williamson had said, starts with defense. And now that they have the 1-0 lead to the Bulldogs, playing some fine defense.
Keeping everybody packed in tight back there.
Looking to get a little bit of a crease for an open opportunity, but Lindsay cannot. Near sideline, chasing it down. Piper Claypool, but out of bounds. Throw in will come courtesy of Freedom, as it looked to be Schwab, but she'll lay it down for teammate Chloe Keller, who will administer the throw in from the near sideline. Tosses it into the midfield, out toward Watkins, who already has 1 goal tonight. Watkins putting the pressure on Mixon. You can tell she is going to try and stay tight to Watkins as best she can this evening. Chip forward by Cribble of Freeport, and now it's Szymanski trying to get by a midfielder, and does. Nice open field move. Here comes Szymanski in some space. Deeper into Freedom territory, trying to play it toward the top edge of the box. But once again, the defense of Freedom stands tall.
And you can see, Randy, they've got every attacker marked. And there's no uncontested passes available.
And eventually cleared out in a big way, big boots. thanks to Chloe Keller. Freeport back on the offensive. Hannah Stokes, pass right. Stokes playing through injury. And now into the box, tight to the end line, centering pass. Oh, and an opportunity for Comparatory, but she fans on the shot. And now Freedom able to gather itself and clear it out. Almost a big breakaway opportunity there on the counterattack. Still a 2-on-3 now, and a lead pass for Watkins here. The Bulldogs, Watkins. Left-footed attempt, looked to be a pass, but nobody home. Will roll far toward the right quarter and out of bounds.
And that was a golden chance for Freeport. They had it set up beautifully, but Comparator just was unable to handle the cross. That had a wide open net facing her. Could have been an easy goal for Freeport.
And Comparator dealing with an MCL issue this season, missed 12 games, still with 9 goals this year. She's one of the better goal scorers for Freeport, but missed on that golden chance as it stays 1-0 Freedom here with 23-24 and counting in the first half. Mixon with a lead pass, right wing for Szymanski. And eventually will roll out of bounds far sideline, escorted by the Freedom defense.
And it was Szymanski that set up Comparator with that run down the right side and a beautiful cross right into the box. And that's one they're going to see in their dreams and or nightmares tonight.
Trying to keep the pressure on. Yellow Jackets have to say this, with as good as Freedom's defense has been, they have been knocking on the door, has Freeport.
Yeah, they're keeping good pressure on. They just haven't been able to convert when they've gotten in close.
Now Freedom, Mila Sharpless. Ball out of bounds near side, but it will be Freedom with the possession.
Freedom, number 18, Sydney Cook.
Sharpless, one of the top players in Class AA, sophomore. Not only is this Freedom team good now, they'll be good in the future. Watkins and Sharpless, both just sophomores. In throw-in pass comes toward Watkins, but cleared out. Will go out of bounds, another throw-in for the Bulldogs. Throw in toward Watkins, she'll let it go by her and then scooped on a couple of hops by goalkeeper Cassie Saran.
Yeah, they were hoping to get Watkins to get a run, but the pass just too far. She would have been offsides had she taken off after it right away, so she had to let it go.
Mixon tracks down a ball in the defensive zone for Freeport. Passes to the near side for Claypool. Again, right to left are the Yellow Jackets, left to right, the Freedom Bulldogs. Freedom leading at 1-0, 21-28 and counting in the first half from Highmark Stadium. Beautiful vantage point here on the south side of Pittsburgh. Have the city of Pittsburgh in the background. As Watkins, just to the right of the box, has it taken off her toe by Mixon, but out of bounds through the end line. This will result in a corner kick now for Freedom.
And that'll be the first one for Freedom. They've got one, Freeport one, and we'll see how they do on the set piece here.
This will be Taylor Petroff administering the corner kick. Does so in front, knocked down in a scrambling effort and eventually smothered by the goalkeeper Saran.
And it's a good thing she corralled it as a Freedom attacker was right there on the doorstep.
Ball chipped in the midfield, both teams exchanging possessions, and now Gasparic gains control for Freeport. High arcing ball deep toward the edge of the 18. Now coming into play into the box was Lindsay, taken off her feet and then cleared out by Freedom. So Freeport continues to knock on the door, but unable to really penetrate the box to get a good shot on. Now trying again, the Yellow Jackets swarming. But once more, the defense for Freedom clears it, then out of bounds. Oh, what a play there by Freedom's Alexia Barlabas, who's able to ricochet the ball off of Freeport's Abby Bastaya and out of bounds.
Excellent play on defense. And give Freeport credit, though. They continue to put the pressure on Freedom. They just have to find a way to connect with a couple passes and get a shot off on net.
Now Watkins in the open space. Lead pass looking for Petrov. A little bit beyond her, though, as Claypool will gather it in and then out of bounds. Freedom leading it 1-0, 19:07 in this first half. Near sideline, Petrov taken off her toe, out of bounds once again by Claypool, so throw in for Freedom. This will be Sydney Cook, freshman defender, on the toss in. Well, it comes right back to Cook, but before she can put a centering pass in play, Gasparic clears it out of bounds.
Come on, guys, let's go!
Glad to have you with us tonight on the MSA Sports Network as it's 1-0 Freedom in the AA Championship, leading the Freeport Yellow Jackets. Bulldogs still with just that one shot on goal, correct?
Yes.
And that is the Michaela Watkins goal that came at 30:54 on the clock.
And one shot on goal for Freeport, and that is it. I mean, both teams have put pressure on Freeport, much more pressure than Freedom, but it hasn't translated into shots on net.
And interesting talking with Coach Williamson of Freedom. Wants to see his team play defense, obviously, but content to try and score goals on the counterattack and fast break, which was basically what led to the Watkins goal. And now another potential opportunity. And the pressure results in a corner kick as Mila Sharpless was ranging in toward the net, was taken off the ball by Freeport. But again, a corner kick here, which will be the second of the game for the Freedom Bulldogs. Again, it's Petrov with the right-footed corner. This time, pinballs it in front, shot at a goal. 2-0 Freedom as it's Sharpless with the goal. The sophomore for the Bulldogs.
Number 42, Mila Sharpless.
And that was done extremely well at the 17:22 mark, as
in the game for Freedom, number 14.
they dummied the initial pass in. One girl went over top of it. Sharpless was right behind her, and she picked the far upper left-hand corner and just dropped it right in. Pretty goal, pretty setup, excellent execution for Freedom.
Cassie Saran, the goalie for Freeport, essentially helpless to stop that shot from Sharpless off the corner kick. So 1 for 3 now on corners are Freedom today. Is Freedom today. And it's 2-0 as a result. So Watkins and now Sharpless. Sharpless with her 23rd goal of the year. She leads the Bulldogs in that category.
And I want to make sure I mark that corner kick down as leading to a goal as well.
Goal kick here for Freedom. Knocked down by Freeport's Sarah Lipniskis, but eventually cleared down, and there's Watkins trying to turn on the speed, but Mixon will watch the ball roll out of bounds just shy of the end line. It'll be a throw in for Freeport.
And you have to think with that second goal, that really puts the pressure on Freeport, especially the way Freedom has not given up many goals all season long, let alone any goals in the playoffs.
Freedom this season has outscored opponents 79-8, so only 8 goals scored against the Bulldogs this year.
And as I said earlier, 13 shutouts on the season, including 2 shutouts in the first 2 rounds of the WPIAL playoffs. Actually, the quarterfinals and semis. They both teams here had byes in the first round.
Sharpless has Watkins, right side of the box, tight to the end line, keeps it in play. Watkins, fancy footwork, shot from no angle, essentially.
Yeah, on net, but not really a shot on goal because Cassie Saran was able to just get it right out in front. The only way it would have gone in would have been had she misplayed it or someone had caromed it in.
And Saran with a sliding effort this time to take the ball away from a ranging Sharpless. The top edge of the box. Punts it out to midfield. 15 minutes to go here in the first half. Freedom leading 2-0. Michaela Watkins and Mila Sharpless with the 2 goals in this one. Hey, going back to the Freedom defense, so when you have allowed only 8 goals all season in 19
Freeport,
games.
number 27, Riley Toy.
Certainly a tall task for the Yellow Jackets now.
Yeah, not too shabby at all. And that leads into exactly what they want to do now, is play defense and then just counterattack when they have the opportunity. Because a 2-goal lead can almost be insurmountable if you pack everybody back in on defense and just take an occasional shot with the counterattack.
Sharpless has Watkins offsides.
Offside call gives Freeport a free kick.
Yeah, if she'd have held up just a little bit, she'd have been okay, but got ahead of the defense, and that was an easy call for the officials.
That was Schwab with that initial pass there for Watkins, not Sharpless, but offsides nonetheless. 2-0 Freedom. Under 14 minutes to go now in half number 1. Mixon finds Gasparic. Gasparic angling toward the middle of the field near the center circle. Freedom, though, able to get back on the ball. And now Lindsay Monak. Pass intended for her, but Mixon eventually cuts that off. Pass right, Szymanski lobs one in toward the edge of the 18. Trying to set something up, high arcing ball into the box, headed out by the Freedom defense. Kept in on the pressure though by Gasparic, but that only brief as again Freedom's defense will clear. Now it's Comparator taken off her feet, and that will result in a free kick, much to the dismay of the Freedom Bulldogs.
I was just about to say that was rather obvious. That'll be a penalty and a free kick. So about probably 30 yards out from net. It's important for Freeport to make this one count.
Hannah Stokes will administer the free kick, the junior forward, and now down 2-0. Important for Freeport to convert on any opportunity they get, but it is quickly cleared out on a header by Freedom and then edged out of bounds. Throw in, and possession belongs to Freeport. Through the wickets of Cameron Lindsay.
And that was Sharpless who had that header in the box area back playing on defense and got it out of trouble. So a two-way player there from Sharpless.
Now Schwab lead pass for Watkins, but Mixon in possession with Watkins draped on her like a cape. Still in bounds. Watkins trying to force the corner, but cannot.
Free kick for Yellow Jackets.
A whistle on Watkins gives Freeport a free kick from that back corner.
And the Freedom fans right down in front of us not happy with that one. As we said, the officials can never win with the fans. And it doesn't matter what sport. We had volleyball the other night, and they were all over the officials in volleyball. It's like, cut them a break.
It's a tough task because no matter what decision you make, someone is unhappy. So.
Exactly.
And that's the case here. Our broadcast vantage point tonight is nearest the Freedom fans. So if you hear what you do here right now, which at the moment is complaining with the officials, that is why, because we are nearest Freedom. But the Bulldogs enjoying a 2-0 lead. Nothing to complain about there. As Watkins and Sharpless with goals in this first half as we're under 11 minutes to go in half number 1. Cameron Lindsay, left wing, deeper into Freedom territory. Nicely done by Keller to take it out of bounds. Break up the momentum by Lindsay. Ball skips into the box, but on the spot cleared to the near sideline by Sharpless.
And again, that just shows how much Freedom packs their defense in. They bring almost everybody back.
Out toward Watkins. And once again, it's Mixon.
In fact, I think it's just Watkins and Petrov are the only two that are out there, really.
Gasparic pounds it deep toward the edge of the 18. Again, the Freedom defense collapses. Spin, turn, and kick out of bounds by Barlabas. Throw in for the Yellow Jackets pending. Claypool will take care of that. In toward Gasparic. Ball caroms back to Claypool. High arcing ball that goes wide left of the net.
And a goal kick for Freedom. A lot of red and white in front of us down here, Randy. We've got a gentleman, I don't know if you can see him down there, with his head right there. He's got a white hair cut very short. He's got Bulldog paws that have been painted onto his hair along with the number 9.
And evidently Maya Hrinko then is his favorite player, because she's the one that dons number 9.
I would say. But that's, you know, you talked about the different hammers. These Freedom fans, you know, they're into it big time here. When you paint your head, that's saying something there.
They have been creative, the Freedom fans, in, as we said, a giant hammer display cardboard sign brought in. So Freedom bringing the hammer, and they've done so quite literally as well on the field. 2-0 the score as Freeport continues to attempt to put pressure on, but really having trouble garnering any shots. Had just one opportunity early on in this half. That's been it.
They've kept the ball down in the Freedom end, but they haven't been able to do much with it when they've been down there. Freedom's done an excellent job of keeping them well away from the net. And every time they send it in, Freedom just sends it right back out again. Like that. Boom.
If Freedom content to continue, and why not? You're leading 2-0, and Freeport really has been unable to penetrate the box. Anytime, whether it's from the wings or directly on from the midfield, it's just unable to get a good look as, again, Freedom heads it out of danger. To the near side. Stopped now by Freeport and Claypool. Claypool tries to edge it deep towards Szymanski, but stepping up Freedom's defense, and it's Hrinko who clears. Now Watkins trying to do something individually there, split a double team, could not. That's part of what gives Freedom the luxury, the skill set of Watkins.
Yeah, she can do a lot out there, and she individually just puts a lot of pressure on teams.
Can do a lot on her own. And with a 2-0 advantage, Freedom.
And Petrov out there as well with her also has a lot of speed. The two of them, you know, can be a two-pronged attack out front, and it allows everybody else to just stay back and play defense.
Wait for the opponent to make a mistake. It's happened twice tonight for 2 goals. In particular, that first goal where really out of nowhere, a fast break occurred, and then Watkins had a breakaway. Here's Watkins now in some space with the ball edged toward the right corner by Mixon. And a stoppage that will give Mixon and the Yellow Jackets a free kick.
Yeah, nice lead pass by Sharpless for Watkins, getting her on a run there, but then they called Watkins for the push.
Out of bounds off of Cribble. And now Freedom with the free kick, Chloe Keller. Keller throw in, looking for Watkins, goes beyond her, trying to stay on sides, and will roll out of bounds through the end line for a goal kick here for the Yellow Jackets. Well, we talked about Watkins and her speed in turn early on in this first half as we're down to 5:50 and counting with Freedom leading 2-0. But Kim Mixon has done a fine job in trying to match her speed for speed, step for step.
Yeah, Mixon has done an excellent job on defense. The 2 goals that have come, one was just an individual effort by Michaela Watkins, and the other was a great setup on a corner with a cross that got dummied and then set Watkins up with Sharpless up with a great attempt, and she was able to put it in. You know, Cassie Saran really didn't have a chance on either one of the goals that were put in on her. And other than those two plays, Randy, Freeport has dominated this game. You know, they really have, and that's just how crazy sports is sometimes. Freeport's been dominating, but yet Freedom has the lead because they counterattack, and they counterattack very effectively.
Sharpless, great open field work. Will pass it back to one of her teammates, and defenseman Barlamas with a arcing ball into the attacking zone. Watkins spinning around Mixon, then eventually to midfield. Leaning header attempt by Chloe Keller, but out of bounds. And again, the throw in on the near sideline for the Freeport Yellow Jackets. 2-0 Bulldogs is it's 4:17 in rolling in the first half. Szymanski. Left quarter double teamed. Freedom able to gain possession. Now Sharpless plays it off a Freeport player and out of bounds. Sharpless, very talented player. Mentioned she's the leading scorer for Freedom. But also plays on regional teams, including the Olympic developmental team, projected Division I player. Coach Williamson saying that several of his players should be playing at the next level, whether it be Division I or Division II, but all have shown interest in playing at the next level, and schools at the next level showing interest in them as well.
And it shows just by how well they play out here and how heady they play. You know, they're very sound defensively, and they don't beat themselves. They always take the right pass, the right angle, whatever, and you can see why they're undefeated and why they've only given up 8 goals on the whole season. It's all with their technique and their defensive philosophy. I mean, they've got everybody marked. There really is nowhere for Freeport to pass it.
Freedom possession throw in the midfield area. Well coached, as you might expect. Colin Williamson, semi-retired, but coaching both the Freeport boys and girls teams. And that actually happened this year. It was his first year coaching both the boys and girls. I had been the girls coach for quite a while, but opening occurred and led the boys team to the semifinals. It was the first year in a long time that Freeport, the boys program, had been out of the first round. It's now Freeport with the throw in. The fans disagree, but it will belong with the Yellow Jackets. And now let's see if Freeport could pick some late momentum here in this first half, as we're down to 2 minutes to go. Trailing 2-0 are the Yellow Jackets. Szymanski, left wing. Nice sliding kick out of bounds with the clear by Chloe Keller for the Bulldogs. Quickly, though, the throw-in is the urgency picked up a bit now by the Yellow Jackets. Bounding ball into the box and quickly cleared away by Barlamas. Midfield, only Watkins in the area now. Petrov will force the pressure, and now Petrov with a steal in the open field. Mixon deflects it. Pass now comes to Watkins. Watkins will work it back to Sharpless. Stepping up. Nice defense, though, by Riley Toy. She'll clear it away for Freeport as we're at 1:20 and counting in the first half. Again, still 2-0 Freedom. Throwing for the Bulldogs in the area of Petrov, junior midfielder, out of bounds. Edging up the field on these throw-ins are the Bulldogs, leading by a pair with exactly 1 minute left.
1 minute remaining in the half.
A lot of pressure from Freeport in this first half, but only one shot on goal and no goals to show for it. Freedom, just 2 shots on net, but they have made them count as they lead at 2-0. And favor of the Bulldogs. Now Watkins with 28 seconds to go in the half, trying to get around Mixon, and does. Left side of the box, step around move, trying to set herself up, right-footed shot, diving save made by Cassie Saran. Clear to the midfield area with 13 seconds left, now to the near sideline.
9, 8,
as Riley
7,
Toy watches
6,
the ball bound around
5,
up the near
4,
sideline.
3, 2,
Final seconds tick off the clock in this first half, and some of the Freedom fans on their feet, and deservedly so, as it's 2-0 Bulldogs after one half of play in the Class AA WPIAL Girls Soccer Championship. We'll take a break, as we'll be back with more on the MSA Sports Network. You are listening to exclusive coverage of the 2016 WPIAL Soccer Finals, sponsored by Progress and Carlow University, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Right now, when you refer a friend to open a new personal or business checking account at First Commonwealth Bank, you can earn a generous cash reward. It doesn't even have to be a friend. Could be a relative. Could be a Bruins fan. Could be that guy over there with the weird hair thing going on. It doesn't matter. Refer anyone to open an account, and it will really pay off for you. They'll even get a cash reward themselves, no matter who they root for. First Commonwealth Bank, member FDIC. Learn more at a local branch or visit fcbanking.com.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlow. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveYou. Carlow University, a proud sponsor of the MSA Sports Network.
Monticello's Italian restaurant has been serving the Pittsburgh community for over 34 years. With over 5 northern locations, there is one near you. Monticello's has been named the best pizza, best hoagies, and best Italian restaurant by the Tribune Review for 3 years in a row. Stop in at Monticello's restaurant before or after your high school football game and mention that you heard us on the MSA Sports Network and receive a large traditional cheese pizza and 4 soft drinks for $12.99. For the complete menu and additional information, go to Monticello's.com. Monticello's, a Pittsburgh favorite. Log on every Wednesday night at 7 for the latest high school football news during this week in the WPIAL here on the MSA Sports Network. Join Don Rebel and other members of the MSA Sports team as they visit with WPIAL football coaches, plus they run down the upcoming schedule and preview the weekend's top high school football games. That's this week in the WPIAL, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. this fall, only on the MSA Sports Network.
Back at Highmark Stadium, it's 2-0 Freedom leading in the WPIAL Class AA Girls Soccer Championship. Give you a quick scoring rundown, which won't take that long to accomplish, but Freeport applying much of the pressure throughout the entire first half, but Freedom breaking loose, and it was a literal breakaway for Michaela Watkins as she was one-on-one with goalie Cassie Saran and beat her to make it 1-0 Freedom with 30:54 to play in the first half. Freedom collecting several quarter kicks, and on the third, able to convert for a goal as a bounding ball on the corner kick into Mila Sharpless, and she was able to deliver an accurate shot in the upper left corner of the net to make it 2-0 Freedom with 17:22 to go in the first half. And Lou Rood, excellent first half played by Freedom, and able to work that out for a 2-0 lead. A lot of offense from Freeport, but not a lot of shots on goal. And then one great scoring opportunity, would be the best scoring opportunity of the night, came about midway through the first half, but a fanning attempt by Kayla Comparator. Never actually got a shot on goal, missed on a point-blank range opportunity, and that's really been Freeport's best opportunity to score tonight.
Yeah, very nice run by Szymanski going down the right side, and she put a beautiful cross in, but Comparator just whiffed on it, couldn't get to it, and that was not only the best chance, that's really the only chance that Freeport's had at scoring. Yeah, I would liken this, put it into football analogy. It's when a team drives from the 20 to the other 20, and then the drive stalls. That's what's happened. Freeport has possessed the ball for a far greater amount of time than has Freedom, but they've not been able to do much with it other than possess it. They've been pushed to the outsides on both sides. If they get a ball into the box area, Freedom gets it right back out as quick as it comes in. The Bulldogs have compacted 9 players back, or eight or nine players back on defense. Oftentimes they'll just have Petrov and Watkins out as attackers looking for a counterattack. Sometimes it's just Watkins out there. And as a result, when they've had the opportunity to counterattack, the first goal came off of a counterattack. They got a lead pass ahead quickly. Watkins was able to beat a defender and went in on a breakaway 1-on-0 on Cassie Saran and was able to pound it home. And then the second goal came off of a corner kick. And really, it was a beautiful setup as the first Freedom player, and I didn't get her number, dummied the kick. She just jumped over the ball, which got Cassie Saran to hesitate. And then Sharpless was right behind her, and she went upper left-hand corner up high, was able to pound it into the net. So really, Freedom, 3 shots on goal in the first half, 2 connected for goals. Freeport 1 shot on net. And we thought it would be a defensive game. It has been. The difference is Freedom's been able to convert on their chances.
So the breakaway goal and the corner kick, the difference in this one is Freedom leads it 2-0 over Freeport. I'd like to remind you that this game and the broadcast rights to this game are the sole and exclusive property of the WPIAL and the MSA Sports Network. Any broadcast of this game is intended exclusively for the benefit of the listening audience, and any use, rebroadcast, or distribution of this broadcast without the express written consent of the WPIAL and MSA Sports Network is strictly prohibited. We will take a break here at the half. Again, 2-0 Freedom as you are listening to exclusive coverage of the 2016 WPIAL Soccer Finals, sponsored by Progress and Carlow University, only here on the MSA Sports Network.
Officially Sports is your one-stop shop for all your officiating needs. If you need a shirt, jacket, pants, shoes, whistles, etc., Officially Sports has it all, and they are the sole licensed supplier for the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association. Officially Sports also provides custom bags and apparel to help promote your officials association. Mention this ad and receive free shipping until November 1st. Order online at www.officiallysports.com or call 1-800-934-4555. That's 1-800-934-4555. Call today.
Right now, when you refer a friend to open a new personal or business checking account at First Commonwealth Bank, you can earn a generous cash reward. It doesn't even have to be a friend. Could be a relative. Could be a Bruins fan. Could be that guy over there with the weird hair thing going on. It doesn't matter. Refer anyone to open an account and it will really pay off for you. They'll even get a cash reward themselves, no matter who they root for. First Commonwealth Bank, member FDIC. Learn more at a local branch or visit fcbanking.com.
Be sure to follow the MSA Sports Network on social media this season for the most up-to-date scores, pictures, videos, breaking news, and links to our articles. You can find the MSA Sports Network on Twitter and Instagram under the handle MSA Sports and at facebook.com/MSA Sports. The MSA Sports Network is also on YouTube under the handle MSA Sports WPIAL, where you can watch hundreds of interviews with local student athletes, full games, highlights, and more. Whether it's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or our websites, MSA Sports is the place to go for high school sports in Western Pennsylvania.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends on both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the synthetic turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as the FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today, 866-270-6003, or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveSYou. Carlo University, a proud sponsor of the MSA Sports Network.
Back at Highmark Stadium, 2-0 Freedom leading the Freeport Yellow Jackets tonight of the Class AA Girls Soccer Championship. And both teams back out onto the field, ready to get this one started yet again. One thing, researching this game, I found interesting that these two teams with the realignment, now 4 classifications in girls soccer, kind of worked out for both teams. Freedom for a long time had to deal with their old nemesis, Greensburg Central Catholic. They remained in Class Single A, with Freedom bumping up to AA. Freeport, in the meantime, remained in Class AA, but no longer has to contend with old section foe Mars, who is now in AAA. And Mars won the AA title last year and has been a perennial powerhouse. They continue to be at the Class AAA level. Greensburg Central Catholic, obviously still a powerhouse at the single A level. So in some regards, the realignment, if you will, now 4 classifications in girls soccer, has benefited both Freedom and Freeport, and here they are in the championship. Not to say that that's the reason why they're here. They're here because they're both very good soccer teams, but just something coincidental anyway that caught my eye.
Right, but they would have probably run into Mars or Greensburg Central Catholic prior to maybe getting here, unless they'd gotten the luck of the draw. And you know, I've covered quite a few Greensburg Central Catholic games over the past few years, including a couple of championship games up here at Highmark Stadium. And they are a formidable opponent, and they have one of those programs that just year in and year out, you know they're going to be up near the top. And so if you can get away from them, that's good.
They won't complain about it, that's for sure.
No, not at all.
So Bailey Cartwright, outstanding player for Greensburg Central Catholic. And in the meantime, here the Yellow Jackets and Bulldogs with plenty of outstanding players of their own ready to get the second half started.
Saw her when she was a freshman, and she was tearing up then.
Freeport will start with the opening kickoff of the second half in possession. We'll see if this second half, if Freeport's able to finally cash in with all of its pressure, but an immediate steal here by Freedom's Chloe Keller. And a ball out of bounds far side.
And I would think, Randy, if Freedom can get another goal here, you can pretty much put things on ice at that point. It would take a monumental comeback for Freeport against an outstanding defensive team that's only given up 8 goals on the season.
It will be a throw in from the far sideline for Freedom. Quickly responding to it, the Freeport defense, clearing it out momentarily. Now Sharpless tries to put on a shot into the box, but knocked down by Mixon. Sharpless will try again, but a save made relatively easily this time for Cassie Saran. She welcomes that, an easy shot to handle. She's had a couple of difficult ones that have resulted in 2 goals for Freedom that came back in the first half.
4th shot on goal for the Bulldogs. So they're 2 for 4. They're at 50% right now.
Pretty good.
Batting 500 either way.
And that'll more than get you into the Hall of Fame in baseball.
Yes.
Great efficiency rate tonight for the Freedom offense. 2 goals on just 4 shots. Sharpless able to step in front of a pass, then edge a little deeper into the Freeport zone along the far side. Ball now near the midfield circle as Freeport trying to set something up, but eventually cut off by defenseman Chloe Keller and edged out of bounds. Now they're going to rule that off of Freeport. So deflected off of the Yellow Jackets evidently, and Keller with the throw-in. 2 minutes into the second half, score remains 2-0 Freedom Bulldogs. And Szymanski, before she can build up ahead of steam, defense cuts her off. Szymanski battling, 50-50 ball goes her way, looking for a teammate near the 18. That being Cameron Lindsay, but once more Freedom's defense able to prevent anything from happening there. After the throw-in from Stokes, edged out of bounds on a high arcing ball by the Freedom Bulldogs. Another throw-in for Hannah Stokes. Stokes been playing through injury, playing with a chipped bone in her right ankle. And Lou, you talked earlier on, both these teams had first-round byes for Freeport. That first-round bye was crucial, allowed some ailing players to get healthy. Now Freeport trying to stay on sides. Ball that will go all the way through the end line.
Goal kick for Freedom.
On the far side, Abby Bastaya was nearest to it, but just trying to stay on sides with the ball headed her way.
And the thing I've noticed too, Randy, when you watch how Freedom is on defense, when a ball goes into their box area, they don't panic. They just settle down, get it, and get it right back out very quickly. And it's like they know what they're going to do with it before they actually make the play. And that's a sign of good coaching and heady players.
Collision along the near sideline. You can hear the crowd reaction. Results in an infraction by Freeport. Charge to Hannah Stokes. Free kick now for Freedom.
Yeah, Mila Sharpless knocked down and immediately got up and took the ball away and set it back down for the free kick.
Maya Hrinko on the free kick. Plays it deep, at least initially, into Yellow Jacket territory, but Freeport able to work it to the midfield. Cameron Lindsay, well played defensively by Hrinko, cleared out of bounds. Near sideline throw in for Hannah Stokes to the midfield for Freeport. 2-0, Freedom with the lead. Freeport trying to apply some pressure. Lead pass right corner for Christie, beyond her toe though, and will go out of bounds. Throw in belongs to Freedom along with the possession. Szymanski, ball to her. Ricochets a pass toward Gasparic. Off target. Cleared out by Freedom. Sharpless gains possession. Now a lead pass for Watkins, but she's offsides.
And she tried to tag up that time, tried to stay behind the defenders, but as soon as the ball went through, she got a little bit of a head start, and it will be an offside call.
Tag up, a great description of that. She certainly appeared like a runner at third, awaiting the catch to be made in the outfield, trying to tag up and score, and she was waiting for that ball coming her way, but narrowly goes offsides. Right-footed shot attempt, saved by Hartle. As that time Gasparic with a shot on net. And the save by Hartle keeps it a 2-0 score.
That'll be her second save of the game. Not a lot of action for Hartle. Handball.
No call. Sharpless. High arcing ball. Deep into Freeport territory. Mixon catches up with it. Headed toward Watkins though for Freedom. Mixon tries to cut her off. Does so enough, but it will be a quarter kick now for the Freedom Bulldogs, leading it 2-0 with 33:47 and counting in half number 2.
fourth corner kick for Freedom. And of course, the last corner kick they had led to a goal. So set piece is always dangerous, and even more so since Freedom's been able to convert on one tonight.
Coach Colin Williamson says he has some set plays that they'll use. We saw one of those on the corner kick, as you had described it, being dummied, resulting in a goal for Sharpless. Here's one point-blank shot, saved by Saran. A left-footed attempt by one of the Bulldogs in front. Nicely done by Saran to somehow deflect it away. And now Szymanski with a head of steam along the far sideline. Return pass comes back to Szymanski. Ball is cut off and cleared, though, for Freedom.
And that was a do-or-die save for Saran. Yeah, and she came up with the big save to keep her team in the game here at only 2-0.
Ball bounces in on a couple of hops on Hartle as she gobbles it up. And will punt it out toward midfield.
Nice punt.
Deep kick hit the back of Mixon as she was just playing man-on-man coverage with Watkins. Ball hit her on the back. Where did that come from?
Yeah, I think her job tonight has been to shadow Watkins everywhere she goes, pretty much.
Has done that fairly well as Mixon, with some help, getting to the ball in front of Watkins. And then off of Freedom. And what do the officials say? They will agree with the crowd this time, as it will be Freedom possession. Officiating crew tonight, Donna Gilorowski, Nancy Johnson, and Diane Coons. An all-female crew tonight. Talked with Donna Gilorowski pregame. She said this is the first time in her 18 years as an official she's worked with an all-female crew. Excited about it. Happens to be for the AA championship here in girls soccer. Freedom leading at 2-0, 31 minutes and 38 seconds and counting. Watkins, ball with some English, spins to her left, nearing the 18, but Freeport clears it. In the middle of the field, stepping up to play it, Sydney Cook applying some pressure and some heat for Freedom. Now the Yellow Jackets work the ball away from her. Then from the midfield stripe, booted in on the goalkeeper Saran, juggles it a bit, but able to corral it, and now punts it to midfield. Saw a lot more defense with Freedom in the first half, just waiting for the counterattack and fast break. This time in half number 2, a little more offense from Freedom, which is certainly making it that much more difficult for Freeport of this one, trailing by a pair. Ball pinballed around to the midfield. Eventually a whistle handball called on Freeport. So it'll be a free kick here for Sharpless and the Freedom Bulldogs. Sharpless waiting for the play to be set up. There takes a hard bump, knocked down to the turf.
It's going to be a card, too.
Oh, wow. Card issued on Topanga Christie, the senior forward. And she will check out of the game.
They gave her Freeport number 27.
Riley Toy will enter.
Toy.
So free kick pending here for Mila Sharpless and the Bulldogs. Mentioned Sharpless, projected Division I player. 23 goals now this season as she and Watkins both scoring in the first half. Some English on that free kick into the box, but handling that spin was Cassie Saran. Puts the ball into Freedom territory, but no one but Bulldogs back there waiting, at least for the time being. Now a steal by Freeport. Bestaya taken off the ball. Cook, nice lead pass down the far sideline looking for Schwab. Mentioned Schwab returning from injury in the semifinals and missed most of the year due to a toe injury. She was the leading scorer for Freedom last season. Colin Williamson, the head coach for Freedom, very excited to have her back. 2-0 Freedom. Freeport possession in Yellow Jackets territory. Ball out to the midfield circle. Arcing kick by Stokes. Now to the top of the box, Szymanski. Before she can put a shot on net, cleared away by Barlamas of Freedom. Cleared it to the far sideline, so it'll be a throw-in from the far side, looking for Barlamas. Well, Barlamas was so close at the top of the 18, and Barlamas anticipating that perfectly on defense. 28 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the second half. Freedom leading by a pair. MSA Sports bringing you the Class AA Girls Soccer Championship, the first of 3 days of exciting championship action here in WPIAL Soccer, all from Highmark Stadium. Taylor Green takes it out of bounds, so it'll be a Freeport throw in now. As entering for the Yellow Jackets, Kaylee Comparator. Checking out for a breather, Cameron Lindsay.
And moments ago, Taylor Petroff came in for Freedom.
Glad to have you with us tonight on the MSA Sports Network. As we mentioned, this is the first game of the soccer championships, and also these games being video streamed on the MSA Sports Network. So very exciting to be able to not only listen but watch these contests here at such a high level. Infraction
for Yellow Jackets
on Freedom, so it'll be a free kick for Freeport in Freedom territory.
They got Sharpless for a push there. She was trying to get through to get to the ball.
Piper Claypool on the run up, right-footed free kick, headed out just as it crosses into the box. Back to Claypool. Claypool in a collision with Schwab. Ball pinballs out of bounds near side. The possession will belong with Freedom. Freedom right to left in this second half. Freeport left to right. Freeport with the road blue uniform tops, white numerals and lettering. And the Bulldogs, so the home whites, the red numerals and lettering. Now Freedom with Watkins in the box, narrowly offsides.
Yeah, barely is the key
Offside
word
call
there,
against Freeport,
barely.
free kick.
She was right on the edge there, and if they hadn't have called it offside, she was one-on-none with Sharpless, and I think Sharpless was starting to feel the pressure there.
2-0 Freedom. And just an offsides call away perhaps of making it 3-0 just moments ago. Out of bounds off of Freeport near side.
Yeah, she had a nice angle there and a lot of wide open net and nobody between her and the goalie.
Mixon, high arcing clear into Freedom territory. Headed out of bounds near sideline in front of the Freeport bench area. Quickly thrown in by Toy. Right wing area. Now into the box. Szymanski sets up a player in front, trying to stop shot, and a goal! Goal for Freeport from Abby Bastaya, the sophomore midfielder. And it's 2-1, Freedom's lead cut in half.
25-16 mark of the second half. Abby Bastaya made a nice move once she got the ball, a little spin move, settled the ball down and was able to put it into the net for the goal, and we've got ourselves a one-goal game now. Nice play.
Only the 9th goal allowed this year by Freedom.
First goal in the playoffs they've given up.
And Szymanski, that's twice. She set up the near miss, if you will, in the first half.
Szymanski's had a strong game for Freeport. She and Mixon have been two of their better players all night long.
As Szymanski in the first half, with her team at the time trailing 1-0, set up Kaylee Comparator on the doorstep, but fanned on a point-blank opportunity. And that time Szymanski with the assist on a pass to Bastaya. Also credit Bastaya for not panicking under pressure there. She was able to settle that ball down, knew she had some time to set herself up. Now it's Sharpless lobs one in, and a goal for Freedom. Lead pass at the top of the box, and with Cassie Saran coming up to play Sharpless, she just lobs it over her, and Freedom responds for a 3-1 lead.
I was going between window to window here. Who passed the ball to Sharpless? You didn't see.
Didn't quite catch it.
All righty. That's one of the disadvantages here at Highmark. I'm looking out a front window, and then to see what's going into the side, I have to go around and look out a side window. And I was between windows when the pass came. I did see the ball go in the net, though. So I guess that's something.
Certainly worth a lot. Mia Sharpless with her second goal of the night, 24th of the season. And just as Freeport had gained momentum, it was short-lived. At 25-16, Bastaya had scored, and less than a minute later, at the 24-28 mark, Mila Sharpless with her second goal of the evening. 3-1 Freedom. Freeport trying to gather momentum again, but difficult to do so against the stingy Freedom team. Midfield throw in goes to Szymanski. Mentioned she has played a fine game tonight. Assist on the only goal thus far for Freeport. Stepping up, Stokes will play the ball wide right with 23-20 and counting here in half number 2. Goal kick now for Freedom. If you're just joining us, first half, Freedom had built a 2-0 lead on goals from Watkins, Michaela Watkins, and Mila Sharpless. Abby Bastaya in the second half for Freeport cut it to 2-1. Freedom responding less than a minute later on Mila Sharpless' second goal of the night. Comparator tries to head one in from inside the box, but it'll go wide left. Goal kick yet again here for the Bulldogs. Maya Rinko will administer the goal kick.
Hear the fans out there. Let's go, Freedom, hustle. Don't sit back on your heels. And that's excellent advice, and I'm sure that's the same thing their coach is saying as well. It's always amazing when the fans have the right advice. Doesn't happen too often.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Not all the time do you hear sound advice out of the crowd.
In fact, a lot of times you hear stuff and you just shake your head and say, what did they say?
Evidently tonight our crowd mic picking up the advice from well-educated soccer fans and Freedom fans here this evening.
Well, they've taken it seriously, that's for sure.
Great following. Freedom looking for a WPIAL title. They came close a couple of years ago, but lost in the championship.
I tell you what, Freeport's got a nice crowd on hand here as well. They're just further down from where we are.
For Yellow Jackets.
So corner kick for Freeport. Chance for a set piece. See if they can get back in here again.
Well, down to 21-16 and counting. You know these opportunities will be few and far between this late in the game. You have to cash in. Sarah Lipniskis will apply the corner into the box, pinballs around, unable to get a clean shot. Bastaya was closest to it, and then Freedom will clear it out courtesy of Mila Sharpless.
And Sharpless has done a nice job as a two-way player tonight. Not just a goal scorer, but we've seen her numerous times back in the box in defensive situations coming up with key plays.
Cleared out to midfield by Freedom. Mixon arcs it back deeper into Freedom territory. Now at the edge of the 18. Comparator passes right. Ball pinballs Gasparic. Trying to get a shot off, but a handball as it comes up on Gasparic.
Free kick for the Bulldogs.
Free kick for Freedom. Bulldogs leading 3-1. 20 minutes and 12 seconds to go.
Freedom's still at 500 on their shots on goal and goals. 3 for 6.
Lead pass left wing, Petrov. Slide tackle by Mixon takes her off the ball, still inbounds. And Toy will gather it in. Pass to Mixon, tightly along the near sideline, tiptoeing, keeps it in bounds. So now a steal by Freedom's Lindsay Monak. Monak has the ball caromed to her, now to Watkins in some space, but again, offsides.
Offside call gives the
And
Yellow
she's
Jackets
right
free kick.
there on the edge every time. She wants that other goal so bad. Just got to be a little more patient and hold up.
So fast. One of the fastest, if not the fastest, Freedom player. And maybe a couple of times tonight has been too fast for her own good. And that's not a critical remark in the least. It's just been she's so much anticipating that ball. Has been offsides by a hair a couple of times. And that being the case moments ago, as it's 3-1 Freedom. Ball at the midfield area. And it'll be Freedom possession. Under 19 minutes to go. And Freedom hoping that it'll be less than 19 minutes to celebration time. Still more work to be done, though. Ball out of bounds off of Freeport, edging up the field on the throw-ins. Is that ball on the previous throw-in, touched by Cribble and out of bounds for Freeport. Toss it into the right quarter, where Watkins gives chase. Caught up with Mixon. It'll be out of bounds off of Watkins. Goal kick here for the Freeport Yellow Jackets.
But Freedom doing what they need to do, possessing the ball in the Freeport end of the pitch. And if they do that, then Freeport can't get shots on net.
AA Girls Soccer Championship. 2-goal lead for Freedom. And even if they don't advance the lead, just possessing the ball, as you were talking about, Lou, is more than enough to win this game.
Yeah, because that's just keeping, it's like playing keep away. If you've got the ball in their end, they've got to go the length of the field in order to be able to have a scoring attempt. And it's an effective form of playing defense.
Freedom trying to build a rush. And now Szymanski will start a rush down the left wing. Caught up from behind, though, by Cook. And she will chip it out of bounds. Throw in comes quickly to Szymanski. Around the 18, shot on net. And it just trickles wide left. Did Hartle touch it?
Yes, she did. It went off of her. That's why it deflected. At first, I thought it had deflected into the net, but it deflected off of the side of the net. And this will be the 5th corner attempt now for Freedom in the game. Or Freeport, rather.
And off the corner, immediately taken out by Freedom.
Freeport's 3rd corner. My mistake. I put it over on the Freedom side.
Off that clearing effort by Freedom. Ball going out of bounds near side. Throw in pending for Hannah Stokes and the Yellow Jackets, who trail by a pair 3-1 in the second half of this AA championship. Midfield, Watkins with some fancy footwork. She'll build up a rush of her own. Now will weave into the midfield. Will pass, looking to pass to her right, had Sharpless there, but the Freeport defense able to prevent that from becoming a deeper rush for the Freedom Bulldogs. Well, eventually rolling in on goalie Cassie Saran. And she'll punt it out to midfield. Ball headed forward by Freeport and Cameron Lindsay near sideline. Last touch by Lindsay. Freedom possession with the throw-in. Toss to the midfield area. Sharpless with an arcing ball. into Freeport territory, caught up to by Mixon. Mixon with Watkins eyeballing her, and Mixon trying to get around her somehow. Ultimately cannot as the ball comes back to Watkins. Pass forward near the edge of the 18 as she was looking for teammate Cora Mankovic. But Freeport's defense stands tall and now trying to penetrate deep into Freedom territory. It's cleared out of bounds. Freeport with a quick throw in. Delivered by Claypool. Ball deflects back to Claypool, but Freedom clears it out to midfield. Under 15 minutes to go in the second half, 3-1 Freedom. Bistaya trying to get by Cook. And the ball slowly rolls out of bounds far side. It will still belong to Freeport. Throw in goes to Szymanski.
That fan had to make me chuckle there. That was the one that yelled earlier.
With the sound advice. I don't know what she just said this time.
She said, quit looking flat, Freedom. My goodness, they've got a 3-1 lead. You would think they were losing the way she's hollering. And they don't look flat. They're playing solid. They're playing good defensive soccer here. I beg to differ.
Goal kick here for the Bulldogs. Freedom with 14 minutes left on the goal kick to midfield. Watkins able to take the ball away. And again, with a head of steam, now finds resistance about 40 yards out. Quick tic-tac-toe passing. Sharpless looking for Petrov beyond her. Cleared out of bounds by Piper Claypool. But again, Freedom content with this because the Bulldogs have possession in Freeport territory. The Bulldogs very happy to possess the ball in the Yellow Jacket zone. But Freeport with a steal, courtesy of Gasparic. Long lead pass, looking for Comparator. Cleared out initially, ball lobbed back into the box where Hartle will pull it in and then punt it away. Freedom possessing in the back end, but a steal. Can't have that if you're Freedom. Lipniskis with the takeaway. Ball led into the right corner where Lindsay was giving chase, but it's beyond her. Goal kick Freedom.
And you can hear the Freedom fans just imploring their players. I think they know some of these fans wouldn't be happy unless they were attacking for 80 minutes out of 80 minutes in the game. You got to sit back and play defense every once in a while too.
And maybe, well, you have to consider, Freedom 19-0 this year. Probably the vast majority of those games have been that way, where they've been on the attack for 80 minutes. But you're playing at the playoff level, at the championship level tonight. Not as likely to just dictate the action in that way, in that dominating a fashion. But Freedom has certainly done an admirable job and then some here, leading it 3-1. Goals by Michaela Watkins. That was the first of the night in the first half, and two more by Mila Sharpless.
Well, Freedom's been dominant in their own way, not necessarily in time of possession, but they've been dominant in the sense that when they've had their opportunities, they've cashed them in.
And Coach Colin Williamson for Freedom had said that possessing the ball, controlling the midfield would be very important tonight. And the counterattack, which we certainly saw on the first goal that developed into a breakaway, as Freeport in the first half in particular had, talking about time of possession, certainly dominated in that fashion, but it was the two immediate opportunities for Freedom that developed into goals. As we talked about, they were 2 for 2 at that time. Shots on goal, converting it into points.
They're still 3 for 6. That's not too shabby either.
3-1 Freedom with 10:54 to go. Freeport trying to find somehow some way to get something going. Oh, now we've got some tempers flaring. Gasparic caught up in a tussle with Taylor Petrov.
And they gave Petrov a yellow card.
So Petrov will walk off.
That's the second yellow card of the game issued, first to Petrov.
With Petrov checking out, entering is Callie Rupin for Freedom, junior midfielder.
And they gave Freedom number 21, Callie Ruppin.
So a free kick will come about 25 yards out along the near sideline. Freeport moving left to right in the second half, awaiting the whistle. Claypool puts one toward the net, and it's batted away by Hartle and out of bounds. It will be a corner kick for Freeport, 4th of the night.
That looked like that gave Hartle some difficulty there. You know, she had to fight it off.
Corner kick put in play, pinballs around in the box, comes free along the right wing. Placed back into the box with a pass. A little bit of a reverse kick type of play there by Cameron Lindsay, but a relatively weak shot led to an easy save for Jacqueline Hartle. Seems like tonight Hartle has had the most difficulty with those shots from far out.
Yeah, the high ones. I don't know if she's losing them in the lights or, because the one thing I can tell you, having been down on this field when I was coaching with the Pittsburgh Passion, the lights are low, and the ball, if it's high, it's going to come out of the lights on certain angles that you have here, and it makes it difficult for the players to see them.
And another corner kick coming. Sarah Lipniskis administers the run-up, deflects around in the box. Gasparic trying to get to it, now deflects off an official, back to Gasparic, trying to find some help, looks to Lipniskis, and it deflects out of bounds off of Freedom, I believe, and it will be a throw-in for Freeport. It'll be Abby Bastaya who takes care of this.
That first deflection, Szymanski had an excellent opportunity but couldn't settle the ball down to get the shot on net. We got a free kick coming up here. So you can probably hear the train in the background. One of the nuances of Highmark Stadium are the train tracks between the edge of the stadium on the far sidelines and the river. Just adds to the atmosphere.
Fantastic atmosphere for WPIAL Championship Soccer, home of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And for the first game tonight, it'll be the home of this Class AA Girls Soccer Championship to follow here on the MSA Sports Network. Quad A Boys Soccer Championship. Seneca Valley, the top seed, taking on the sixth seeded North Allegheny Tigers. But here it's 3-1 Freedom leading Freeport in the AA Girls Championship, down to 8:07 to go.
Another corner.
Corner kick for Freeport.
6th quarter of the night. Freeport garnering these corner kicks.
Got to do something with it, though. That's the key. You know, 4 corner kicks for Freedom, but one of them led to a goal.
This ball will be played in from the right corner. Sitting on the doorstep, Claypool got near it, but Freedom clears it out. That was taken care of by Callie Rupin. Into the game for Petrov. Now we've got a handball that'll be charged to Freeport. Free kick
for the Bulldogs,
belonging to the Bulldogs with 7:20 to go in the second half. 3-1, Freedom leading it.
Freedom in no hurry, taking their time, placing the ball down. Players walking to where they need to go.
Free kick driven deep by Hrinko. High arcing ball right back into Freedom territory. Chased after by Cameron Lindsay. Lindsay right wing, tight to the end line now. And it's going to be a corner kick yet again here for Freeport. Ball played out of bounds through the end line by the Bulldog defense. This time Gasparic will send the ball in on this corner. Right-footed corner kick into the box. Bastaya trying to get a shot off, could not. Cleared out initially by Freedom. Bastaya trying to keep the pressure on. Ball will roll toward the left quarter. and cleared out of bounds by the Freedom defense, far sideline. Throw in, Bastai gets it in. Szymanski now. Edge of the 18, but basically dribbling into a double team, has it cleared away. 6 minutes remaining here in the second half. Mixon with Watkins bearing down on her. Watkins forcing the issue and steals it. Now has a one-on-one. Watkins shot and a goal. Her second of the night, and it's 4-1 Freedom with 5:50 to play.
And that should ice it. Great individual effort by Michaela Watkins. As she was able to take the ball away from Mixon, and Mixon has just been outstanding all night. Her one mistake there, not being able to control the ball, Watkins took it away, and then really Cassie Saran had no chance whatsoever. Watkins puts it in the net, and it's 4-1 Freedom.
23rd goal of the year for Michaela Watkins.
So she's got 23,
Free kick from
you said?
Bulldogs.
Right.
And then Sharpless has 24.
Correct. Yep, both with goals tonight. And it was Watkins coming into the night, one behind Sharpless, so that has been maintained. And I'm sure maybe they have a friendly competition amongst themselves as far as who will end the season as the team leader. But as long as it results in victories, I'm sure all could care less as the ball rolls into the box.
And you know what's really scary? They're both sophomores.
Exactly. Talking with Coach Williamson, he said, this is exciting tonight and an exciting future. A couple of sophomores will have a big senior class next year, but when you have your top two players in terms of goal scoring as just sophomores, you have to be very excited about what is to come. And well, with a 4-1 lead now, with less than 5 minutes left, what might be to come, state playoffs going in as the WPIAL champions.
I think that looks like a pretty safe outcome here, Randy.
Freedom,
at this point.
Freedom trying to maintain that undefeated mark, and now Watkins turning on the speed, right wing, edging near the top of the box, trying to get around defenders, weaving in and out, passing to her left near the edge of the 18. Ball going to the side of one of her teammates. Pass intended for Rubin. It's cleared out of bounds by Freeport. Be a throw in here for Freedom with 4 minutes to play. When you get to these type of situations here, 4 minutes to go, 4-1 lead, as you said, the outcome at this point relatively safe, and knowing that Freedom is going to capture not only its 20th win of the year, but a WPIAL championship. It's like a countdown to New Year's for the crowd and certainly for the team. Highly anticipating when this clock reads 0. Throw in goes through the end line. It'll be a goal kick now for Freeport.
And Randy, just so you know, as soon as the clock strikes 0 or thereabouts, I'm out of here.
That was what I was instructed. You would be on to your next task.
So all you got to do is double tap the spots and they'll play.
Okay.
I'll make sure they're in order for you.
I appreciate that. In the post game, and Lou Rood will be taking care of the MSA Sports Center stage interview to come. That'll be on the MSA Sports website. I encourage you to check out the MSA Sports website in the near future. A lot of center stage interviews, I'm sure, over the course of the next few days. Volleyball championships on Saturday as well at Baldwin High School. Soccer championships throughout this weekend, beginning tonight.
Yeah, I'll be back here on Saturday. I've got the girls 4A championship between Cannon McMillan and Norwin, 2 undefeated teams, number 1 and 2 seeds. 3:30 on Saturday. Paul Patera and I will have that one.
Bracket makers did a fine job this year.
They did.
1 and 2 in this matchup. It's number 1 leading 4-1. Ball out of bounds, midfield area. Freeport possession. If you're just tuning in, Freedom 2 goals in the first half, one by Michaela Watkins, another by Mila Sharpless for a 2-0 halftime lead. Freeport cut it to 2-1 on an Abby Bastaya marker with 25:16 to go in the second half, but Freedom responded less than a minute later on a Mila Sharpless goal, and then Watkins putting things on ice with 5:50 to play to make it 4-1 Freedom. And that's where we sit now with 1:44 and counting. Watkins passing it to Cora Menkovic. Out in the midfield, lead pass looking for Watkins. Pass coming from Taylor Green, the sophomore. But with 1:20 left, it's just a matter of time. Freedom came close a couple of years ago to winning a WPIAL championship at the Class Single A level. 2 years ago, reaching the finals, but lost to Greensburg Central Catholic 9-1. Watkins putting on some pressure here on Mixon, but Mixon able to clear to the near side of the left quarter. 1 minute left.
Remaining in the half.
So Freedom coming so close 2 years ago. Reached the PIAA semifinals in 2014 as well, but lost to the arch nemesis Centurions of Greensburg Central Catholic. Talked about that coming out of halftime as Sharpless puts a ball toward the box, but cut off by the Freeport defense. 35 seconds left. Long ball rolling into Freedom territory and gobbled up by the keeper, Jacqueline Hartle. Couple of bounces of the ball and punts it to the midfield area with 24 seconds remaining. Now some of the Freedom fans on their feet, the bench anticipating the final seconds here. As we're down to 12 seconds on the game clock here in the second half. And you can hear the countdown from here.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fans, please remember.
And the WPIAL champions in Class AA, the Freedom Bulldogs, winners 4-1 over the Freeport Yellow Jackets.
Congratulate your girls, AA.
I know Lou Rood has to work quickly here, so we will move on here in the broadcast as it is 4-1 Freedom. We'll be back in a moment on the MSA Sports Network. Okay. Back on the MSA Sports Network just moments ago. Final seconds ticking off the clock. Freedom defeating Freeport tonight 4-1 in the Class AA Girls Soccer Championship of the WPIAL. We will pause for a timeout to come back and recap this one for you. Tonight's playoff match brought to you by Progress, First and Turf, and by Carlow University, proud sponsor of all girls high school sports here on the MSA Sports Network.
The team at UPMC Sports Medicine doesn't just rebuild wrists and knees. They build better athletes. Athletes at every level who want to get stronger and faster and prevent injuries. Fact is, no other sports medicine program in the region is more experienced when it comes to treating, training, and inspiring athletes. UPMC, the official healthcare provider of the Penguins, Steelers, and you. Find out more at upmcsportsmedicine.com.
Hey, you, the one who's so busy. You're gonna really like this. Dollar Bank's new no overdraft checking account. Did you hear me? Checking with no overdraft fees, ever. And if that's not enough, how about we'll give you $200 with your no overdraft checking account? That's right, $200, and you'll never be charged an overdraft fee. And that means no worries. You'll also get free access to over 55,000 ATMs, our app that includes mobile deposit and real-time alerts. There's only one place you can get this account, Dollar Bank. Sounds like a great new account for busy people like you. And when you open no overdraft checking before October 15th, you can earn $200. Yes, $200. So get going. Stop by, call 1-800-242-BANK or visit dollar.bank/200 today. Dollar Bank, mutually inspired. $200 offer for new customers only. Certain requirements apply in the first year. Call for details. 0.00% annual percentage yield. Subject to change without notice. Dollar Bank. Member FDIC.
MSASports.net is the place to click on every day this fall.
On Mondays, we have the latest MSA Sports Top 10 football rankings.
Also on Monday, we check in on the former district stars now making the grade in college with WPIAL alum Q&A.
Tuesday is a look back at the biggest and best plays from the previous Scholastic football weekend with the plays of the week.
We go big game hunting on Wednesday with a preview of the top WPIAL football contests.
I'll look into my crystal ball on Thursday with the wildly popular Chicks Picks.
A complete rundown of all the games comes your way on Friday, plus plenty of broadcasts to choose from on Friday nights.
On Saturday, we'll take a look at the top performances with Friday night highlights. Then on Sunday, a look back at the previous day's high school standouts with Saturday's Scholastic Stars.
Anytime, anywhere, always there this fall with the MSA Sports Network at MSASports.net.
Log on every Wednesday night at 7 for the latest high school football news during this week in the WPIAL here on the MSA Sports Network. Join Don Rebel and other members of the MSA Sports team as they visit with WPIAL football coaches, plus they run down the upcoming schedule and preview the weekend's top high school football games. That's this week in the WPIAL, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. this fall, only on the MSA Sports Network.
For the most complete recap of Friday night's WPIAL football action, tune in on your way home from the game to the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show, here on the MSA Sports Network. Hi, I'm Don Rebel. Join me in the MSA Sports Gang for all the scores and recaps from the top games, plus the MSA Sports Roundtable. That's the MSA Sports Scoreboard Show after the game on Friday nights on the MSA Sports Network and at MSASports.net.
17, Maria Giancola.
Back in the post-game show here on the MSA Sports Network Class AA Girls Soccer Championship in the books as Freedom defeats the Freeport Yellow Jackets 2-0 tonight. Freedom remains undefeated at 20-0 on the year. So not only the Section 1 champions in Class AA, but now the WPIAL champions. So Freedom moves on as the District 7 title holders, advancing to the PIAA bracket. And Freeport will also participate in the PIAA tournament, but now with a record of 15-4-1. Terrific season for both squads. Those seasons will continue on. But Freedom, the champions of the WPIAL in Class AA in the first half, a goal by Michaela Watkins getting free for a breakaway with 30:54 to go in the first half to take a 1-0 lead. Mila Sharpless is the championship medals now being presented to Freedom here at Highmark Stadium. And this game being broadcast, not only the audio, but the video tonight, video stream here on the MSA Sports Network. So those gold medals being handed out. Coach Colin Williamson doing the honors for Freedom. As we continue with the scoring recap, Mila Sharpless scoring on a corner kick with 17:22 to go in the first half, made it 2-0 Freedom. In the second half, Freeport made it a game. Abby Bastaya cutting the score to 2-1 with 25:16 to go in the second half. But less than a minute later, Mila Sharpless with the response to make it 3-1 Freedom. And the Bulldogs controlled it the rest of the way and put it on ice with a goal by Michaela Watkins with 5:50 to play to bring the final score to 4-1 here tonight. So outstanding effort by the Freedom Bulldogs, earning the WPIAL championship. And again, on our video stream here on the MSA Sports Network, you can see those gold medals being given out to each and every player here on this Freedom roster. And talking with Coach Colin Williamson, who pulled double duty this year, is not only the coach of the girls team, but the boys soccer team as well. Led the boys squad of the Bulldogs to the semifinals of the WPIAL playoffs, and here leading the girls squad to a championship, coming so close 2 years ago, falling to Greensburg Central Catholic in the Class Single A title game. Freedom now members of Class AA with the realignment for classifications in girls soccer, and Freedom winning the AA title here this season.
28, Rachel Zajac.
And a deep and talented team, one that can win it with defense as well as those top goal scorers, just like Mila Sharpless, who was just handed out her gold medal placed around her neck. And now Colin Williamson receives his medal as Freedom celebrates this WPIAL championship. So congratulations to the Bulldogs, and certainly best of luck to both Freedom and Freeport in the PIAA playoffs. So that'll do it here for our first broadcast of the soccer championships from Highmark Stadium. Stay tuned on the MSA Sports Network. Coming up at approximately 8 p.m., we'll have the Class Quad A Boys Soccer Championship, North Allegheny taking on Seneca Valley. A big thank you to Chris Lackner working the camera tonight, and also to Lou Rood, my color partner this evening. It was he's not here to listen to my comments, but it was a pleasure and an honor to work with him tonight, and I thank him very much for bringing his equipment here with the game log and also the commercial breaks. Big thank you to Lou. Outstanding job by him, and again, it was a pleasure and an honor to work by his side tonight. So that'll do it. As you can see, Freedom celebrating the WPIAL Championship and its trophy, the Freedom Bulldogs 2016 Class AA champions. We bid you a pleasant good night as tonight's playoff match brought to you by Progress, First and Turf, and Carlow University, proud sponsor of all girls high school sports here on the MSA Sports Network. Also, you have been listening to exclusive coverage of the 2016 WPIAL Soccer Finals, sponsored by Progress and Carlow University, and we encourage you to tune in for the Quad A Boys Soccer Championship coming up in about 15 minutes. So long for Lou Rood. I'm Randy Gore here on the MSA Sports Network.
You have been listening to exclusive coverage of the 2016 WPIAL Soccer Playoffs at MSASports.net, sponsored by Progress, by Carlow University, by First Commonwealth Bank, by UPMC Sports Medicine, by Officially Sports, by Dollar Bank, by Monticello's Italian Restaurant, and by Management Science Associates. You can follow all the WPIAL fall postseason action by logging on every day to www.msasports.net. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of the Management Science Associates Sports Network.